Hello, Ethan here, talking today about Mr. Burns by Anne Washburn. What was most memorable about the play was how the use of The Simpsons was integral to the understanding of the play and the world it presented. Every act would revolve around The Simpsons, progressing through the acts, starting with the actors discussing the episodes of The Simpsons, to writing the episodes, and even to the play itself becoming the world of Simpsons in a sense. One theme in the play that was expressed was a need for the utilitarian use over personal pleasure. This was aptly shown when a character found himself selling coke for batteries, one thing for relevant use versus one thing for pleasure. In an apocalyptic world setting, people are trying to fend for themselves and actively pursue acquiring the goods that they need to help themselves in the long run. An example of this was found in the stores like Walmart, which were running out of things such as duct tape that people would need to help themselves later on. A second theme was how selfish people became. There was an example in Act 2 when a guy was claiming that the troupe had stolen his lines in the episode, but in reality they had written their own lines. The guy was so desperate for money he would lie in an attempt to slanderize another for personal gain. A third theme was how comedy would be used to relieve the pain and misery one is living through in the play. Throughout the play, the world is suffering in this post-apocalyptic world and experiencing great personal loss and are much worse off, but even a hint of joy through comedy left people feeling some kind of hope. This performance is a comedy because the characters are complex with a great deal of unexpected events unfolding in both comedic and rather far-fetched ways. It is a pragmatic view shown through the people attempting to be on with their day-to-day lives. And it is a playful play in that it's attempting to make light of a more serious situation. Act 3 essentially replays Acts 1 and 2 through a Simpsons episode. This was shown through the dramatization of much of the dialogue in Act 1, as well as the scenes in Act 2. And a final example would be the use of character names who died in previous acts. The significance of the play is to highlight the destruction of the world, and how even through destruction, comedy can be found to bring light and joy to the situations at hand. The play tells me about the world of Mr. Burns 75 years later is much worse than previous acts. I personally believe that Seinfeld is an excellent example of popular culture stories today that would live on in a post-apocalyptic setting. Seinfeld is a story about life and the comedic turns one experiences while traveling down its path. Seinfeld would give the people a sense of humor about their own situations, and the show could easily be continued beyond the running time to show how experiences have changed after the apocalypse. The stories themselves would help people in the post-apocalypse make light of the situations around them, similar to how Mr. Burns did.